Hello everyone, Jessica Bobo here, and I am doing something really fun this evening. So I'm going to give you a few seconds here to maybe guess what am I doing. I'll give you some little hints. Got this big jar, coconut oil. I've got some African shea butter. I have got this awesome bottle of jojoba oil. Some grapeseed oil in there. Any guesses yet? A little bit of vegetable glycerin. Is it coming together? It should be coming together, right? Maybe with this is gonna help it come together, right? Some beeswax, a couple measuring cups, some essential oils, some empty lotion containers. So let me show you what I got going on. I am making some lotion. I love doing this. I've been making my own lotion now for a long time. For gosh, at least a year and a half, almost 2 years probably now. And I love it because I get these awesome products that I know are pure, they're organic, they're gonna be good for my body without any extra junk in it. And then I also get to put in some fun essential oils too. So I'm gonna talk to you today about an essential oil that I use all the time in my lotion, and it's called Spikenard. I love this oil. Dr. Hale talked about this oil, I wanna say probably about a year and a half ago. I caught something, hold on, let me turn my other cooking down. So he was talking about spikenard and how it's like the next best thing to frankincense. And so I started using it and I started reading up on it, and I'm telling you, spikenard is an amazing essential oil. It has a variety of benefits similar to that of frankincense. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. It's so good for the skin. It also has grounding properties to it as well. So when you diffuse it, this is a good one to diffuse. If you're having a moment or if you're feeling any anxious feelings or stressed out or struggling with some anxiety, spikenard is a great essential oil to diffuse, maybe with a lavender or a sandalwood or something. It has a great sweet musky aroma to it, and it's really, really good for the skin. It's great for healing and renewing, and it helps with clearing blemishes and stuff. So I love putting spikenard in my lotion. I actually blend spikenard with a few others. I typically blend spikenard with frankincense, and then I'll add some lavender, or I'll do serenity, I'll do geranium. I play around with the other oils that I add to it. I typically always add spikenard to my essential or to my DIY lotion recipe because it's just great. I know it's gonna be great for my skin. Just another fun little fact about spikenard too, when I was coming across my research and reading up on this essential oil. So it's been around for a long time. So it's sourced out of Nepal, the Himalayan mountains, super high up. And this is the same essential oil, so the same oil that Mary, so if you read the Bible, it's the same essential oil that Mary used to anoint Jesus. And what's really interesting about spikenard, or the nard that that it's talking about in the Bible, is that Mary used 300 denaries worth of spikenard to anoint Jesus. And I don't know if you know about how much that is, but I'm going to give you a little history tip right here, history lesson on what 1 denarii is. So 1 denarii equates to 1 day's worth of wages. That's what equated back in that day, in Jesus's day. 1 day's worth of wages. She had 300 denaries worth. So that's pretty much equates to a year's worth of wages that she used to anoint Jesus. And what's really neat about that is that it's probably some type of heirloom that she acquired. There's not a lot that's known about that, other than why would she have that much nard in her home, and most historians believe it was some type of heirloom or something that she acquired, was passed down through her family. But like, wow, that's a really awesome, just fun fact to know about Spikenard. It was used to anoint Jesus. It's just another one of those oils that I like. It's near and dear to me, along with frankincense. So if you have some fun tips about Spikenard, I'd love for you to share with me in the comments below. And real quick about my recipe, I can't leave you hanging on how I make my lotion. So it's really simple, right? So I start with this glass jar, okay? It's boiling in a pot of water right now, well, simmering, I guess. So the glass jar is empty, and what I start with is I start with the almond. I use a half a cup of grapeseed oil, and grapeseed oil is really great for sensitive skin as a carrier oil. You can use coconut oil too. It doesn't have to be grapeseed oil. And I like to mix the grapeseed oil with the jojoba. So I do a half and half a cup of grapeseed oil with the half a cup of jojoba. You could do a full cup of coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil, if that's what you have, and that will work just fine. If you've got really sensitive skin issues, both jojoba oil and grapeseed oil work really well together for those with sensitive skin. So that's why I like using these two. So I do a half a cup of each, okay, and I put it in my glass jar. Okay. I also do a half a cup of virgin and coconut oil. Now this is raw virgin coconut oil, and it smells like coconut, so I'll put that in as well. Half a cup of that. And then I use 4 tablespoons of African shea butter, okay? And I get all this stuff from Amazon, except I get this at Costco because it's so cheap. And then I use my beeswax. So I use a half a cup of beeswax. Actually, this is probably more like, I played with the recipe a little bit. This is probably more like 3/4 of a cup of beeswax pellets. So they're just tiny little round balls. Again, I can just get these on Amazon. Just little beeswax pellets. So they melt really fast and they can stir easily. All right, and then I use the vegetable glycerin as well. And I use, what is it? A 1/4 cup of vegetable glycerin, I think. Yeah, 1/4 cup. So then I put that on that glass jar and I let it sit until it all melts together. So the beeswax now, it's been sitting for about 15 minutes and it's about halfway done. So I'll stir it a little bit, and then it takes probably about 30 minutes for it to boil and fully melt. Then once it's all melted, so you don't add any of the essential oils yet. You do that last. Once it's all melted, I pour it into my KitchenAid mixer, okay? This is the big step, okay? If you can use a Bosch or whatever, just something that's gonna mix it up really well. So I pour it all in here, okay? And then I let it sit for maybe about a couple minutes or so, maybe like 10 or 15 minutes, just so it's not super hot, okay? And then I'll put the most important step that I've found that makes the lotion a really good creamy consistency is to put it in the fridge. I didn't do this for a long time. I started doing this about a year ago and it saved my lotion. It made it a whole lot better. So after about 10 minutes, you put it in the fridge, okay? And it's gonna sit in the fridge for about, I wanna say like 3 hours. It's a long time because you want that lotion to emulsify, okay? It's gonna get hard, it's gonna turn into like a salve, okay? It's gonna be kind of a thicker consistency. So once it's done in the fridge, then I take it, hook it up to my KitchenAid mixer with, I use just the standard whip, okay? And I whip it. And I whip it for probably, I don't know, about 20 minutes. I'll stop at about every couple minutes or so and I'll scrape down the sides, okay? And then I'll let it run again for another 5 minutes, stop, scrape it down, and then whip, and it's gonna turn into this really rich, like buttery batter. It looks like frosting almost. My husband's actually went and fingered in a scoop once on accident, thinking it was some type of like frosting, and he found out that it wasn't. So it is. It looks really creamy and it's amazing. It feels so good on the skin. And then once you're done, then you pour it into your containers and you add the essential oils that you want. I typically add about 30 drops of essential oils, whether I'm blending or not. For my recipe today, I'm gonna use Spikenard for sure. I'll probably, I wanna play with the recipe for my husband for a facial cream for him for when he shaves. And I think for him, I'm gonna use the Spikenard with the peppermint, the Hawaiian sandalwood, and the frankincense. So I'll let you know how it goes. All right, video is a little bit longer today, but I thought it was fun to share. And comment below if you guys have any questions, or if you want the recipe, I can post it in the comments below as well. All right, you guys have a great day.